"35 years ago, planes like this, the famed B-17 Flying Fortress, rained death from the skies over Germany. They are grim reminders of a time when American airmen lived catch-22 lives to survive. But today, such planes are mere relics, being preserved at the Planes of Fame Museum in Chino, where men like Ed Maloney have been fighting for 25 years to preserve aerial history."
Aviation in California, at one time, this was the world's largest aviation center. More airplane companies were located in the Southern California area than any other spot on this globe. Many people retire here that were in the armed forces. Many of the people that were in the industry with the 4 or 5 major companies are still within the area, and we get many of them coming out to look at their former products. We have many one-of-a-kind aircraft here that they formerly worked on, and if they want to see them, they almost have to come here to see them. And when they do, it's always interesting to talk to them because it brings back many fond memories.
Millions were at war when the pilots who stenciled their names on these planes laid their lives on the line. It was their way of saying, "I'm a person, not a number." Today, the survival of these planes still ensures a kind of immortality for these airmen.
I think this is motivating to many of the younger people we have in our organization. We have a real dedicated younger group who started off by coming out on weekends and then after school helping wash the airplanes, things like that. Some of the former airplane washers we had here now are airline pilots flying for the airlines. So I have a livelihood in aviation, and they get a good background here by working on the aircraft.
The Air Museum is dedicated to saving as much history as possible, like this Bel Air Cobra with Russian markings. But it is a continual fight against time and rust. At the moment, the museum is trying to raise money to build a hangar to house such treasures as this German jet fighter, the kind that raised hell against our slower propeller-driven planes. Luckily for our pilots, these jets never went into mass production, which makes them all the more worth saving now.
Our function is that we try to show some of the aircraft in our collection. People that cannot come and visit here, we sometimes take our aircraft to them and visit the various air shows throughout the country because we have many one-of-a-kind aircraft.
This air show, called the Gathering of Eagles, is sponsored by the Chino Airport and the City of Hope. The Eagles are former Navy and Army Air Corps pilots from World War II. They gather here to relive and refly their past. Their planes are part of the local museum and those of the Confederate Air Collection from Texas. Corsairs like this one saw a great deal of action in the Pacific. More recently, they've seen action in the TV series Ba Ba Black Sheep. It was considered one of the most beautifully designed planes of its era, which extended into the Korean conflict. These days, Corsairs and Mustangs have become so nostalgically popular that rides are now being offered to the public. All it takes is a donation of $150 to the museum's building fund. The Planes of Fame Museum has a motto: pride in our past, faith in our future. To men like museum founder Ed Maloney and his son, these are more than words. To them, the past, present, and future cannot be separated. Without one, the others are meaningless. That's why they continue their desperate struggle to salvage the planes that helped win a world war. However, with each passing year, craft like these become more and more difficult to find. And without such planes, a part of history would probably cease to be real.